Very important concept in the Torah,
Gonna hold that thought.
which appears, what?
1 second.
And
Take the dramatic pose now.
take two. Okay.
Okay.
Should I repeat the same sentence?
Yeah, let's do
Okay,
it.
I want to touch.
I'm ready.
All right. I want to discuss with you a very important concept in the Torah,
Are you getting this too?
which appears numerous times, especially in the book of Leviticus, the middle book of the 5 books of Moses, which is the book of sacrifice and temple. And that's the concept of purity and impurity. Or in Hebrew, does anybody know how you say somebody who's impure? Tameh. Or tum'ah. Tum'ah. You can say that, it's an easy one. Or tuma, as it's said in Ashkenazi Hebrew. Tuma. And the opposite is pure. Tahara. All right? And the modern application of that, and that's what Hannah is going to be speaking about, I presume, more, is what's an example of that today? When do we know when somebody's impure? Who would be impure today? A woman in her menstrual cycle. Okay? That's the application today. All right? Now, I want to dispel, all right, or clarify what it means to be pure and impure. Because sometimes, especially today, right, when a woman during a menstrual cycle has to go to a ritual bath, so some people think, oh, that means she's like, sick, or she has something wrong with her. No. Pure and impure, during the time of the Bible, during the time of Tanakh, when there was a temple standing right on top of this hill over here, where the Golden Dome is, meant one very simple thing. If you were impure, you could not go to the temple. That's what it meant. Okay? In case of a woman, she also can have sexual relations with her husband, or he can have sexual relations with her. It works both ways, right? But you cannot walk into the temple. Why? You can become impure by coming into contact with something that has to do with either death or loss of a potential of life. Meaning, if I touch a dead body, I'm impure. If I touch a dead animal, certain dead animals, I'm impure. Or, if I touch something that has to do with the loss of potential of life, blood from a menstrual cycle or semen, I'm impure. Why? And this is what I want to get across. The temple, which was a place of sacrifice, was seen by the Jews, by the Torah, as the source of life for the entire world. When it was there, life on earth, in the universe, was on this level. When it was destroyed, it went down. The rabbi said when the temple was destroyed, the taste of fruit, the taste of food, all of that just kind of like withered. And that's pure and impure. It's not good or bad. It's not, evil or not evil. It's not sick or not sick. It's, am I connected with life? And that's why there's so many ritual baths. This is just one of them. And there are whole others which we might see walking through there.
But by going in the water, it erases all of that.
Hannah's going to speak about that.
Okay, I'm going to speak about that. Okay, so first of all, I just want to start out by telling something to you all that may seem very, very strange, okay? In fact, this ain't the prime example of a modern mikvah. However, a mikvah is actually the holiest and most sacred place in a Jewish community. In fact, this is going to sound shocking, a Jewish community is required by halakha, by code of Jewish law, to sell the center of the synagogue, to sell a Sefer Torah, sell a Torah scroll, to finance the building of a mikvah, the building of a ritual bath, okay? What is this? All along we live in America, we think that the church is the center of the Catholic religion, and a synagogue has got to be the center of the Jewish religion. Judaism does not, in fact, believe that. Judaism believes that the center of the Jewish religion is the Jewish family, okay? Not services, not even communal, but the Jewish family, okay? In modern texts, the most often times of the uses of a mikvah is, as Ami begins to start saying, at any time where there's a loss of life, where there's a loss of, we're going to say, potential. What?
Gabrielle,
I'm sorry. Gabrielle said, thank you. You're lucky, because soon I'll start calling you Yoed, which is like my tour guide last year. As the days go on, I mix up the names, okay? As he discussed, anytime there's a loss of potential, it's symbolic of a time that's needed to step back, ritualize, and then allow ourselves to move forward. Judaism very much believes in a mourning process. So during the time where a family member dies, Judaism believes you can't just go on with life. You need to have 7 days where the family sits shiva, where the family sits and contemplates, okay, for 7 days before they then go and move on. And so too with this idea of mikvah. Water has a unique capacity. Water has the capacity to give us life. Without water, we cannot live. Yet water also has the capacity that when we're inside of it, it kills us. It can kill someone. You can drown. We cannot live within water. And mikvah, a mikvah, which is a body of water that's connected to all the bodies of water from beforehand, allow us the unique ability to do just that. At a time in our lives when we're feeling a loss of potential, we go into the water, and it's almost like we erase everything from before, and when we come out of the water, we're allowing ourselves a spiritual renewal. Other interesting things about mikvah is, according to Jewish law, it has to be 40 sa'ah by 40 sa'ah, which is a specific measurement, which corresponds actually to the size of the womb of a woman, okay? Which is another symbolism of rebirth. In fact, mikvot are also used when someone decides to become Jewish. Mikvah is an integral process. When they go into the mikvah, it's almost like they're coming out of the womb. They're coming out of the womb of Judaism and able to start their life anew. In fact, that's why many times when it's asked, what is a Jew, who is a Jew, one of the most common halachic answers is that anyone who is in a Jewish womb is automatically a Jew, or who undergoes a mikvah process, okay? So in all these ages of IVF treatments and surrogate motherhoods, okay, modern day halacha believes it's just that, it's a womb. So nowadays, again, like Gabriel said, mikvot are used in the course of a marriage, in the course of a sexually active marriage, to do just that. That it's not that it's dirty and it's bad and that we're mourning the loss of a potential life, but it's that when we come out and when our bodies are ready to have the potential to create new life, both male and female, that we allow ourselves to undergo a process that allows us to feel a sense of rebirth. And in fact, when modern women use the mikvah, it's very much, they use the mikvah at the time right before ovulation, okay? And I know that's not something you think about now at your age, but I would like to just throw this out there to you. Everybody has different observances, and everyone has different spiritualities and different way of celebrating that. But I have to say that the mitzvah of mikvah is very often celebrated at two major points in people's lives, okay? At the point in a life when your soul is getting together with your soulmate right before a wedding, it is a strong custom that women do use the mikvah, and men as well, to symbolize that whoever I was before, whatever I was before, I'm now starting my life anew. And another time that the mikvah is commonly used is, again, by a woman before she wants to conceive a child. So she's symbolically saying, God, I'm going to immerse myself in the mikvah. Please have that affect the soul of my child in a positive way. There's much more to talk about mikvah. Chana and I would like to discuss more with you. Again, modern mikvahs look a hell of a lot more like spas than holes in the ground, and are supposed to allow people the experience of just renewal and refreshing and feeling good about oneself. So Gabriel's going to show you. We're going to walk down. Just feel it. Feel the idea of mikvah.